Welcome to Come Get Woo Woo. We're your hosts, Becky and Ro, here to hold space for the unseen, the unspoken, and the deeply felt. This is a place for seekers, for those who sense that there's more, for those who hear between the words, feel beyond the room, and know without knowing why.
Together, we'll explore the language of spirit, the clarity of your clairs, and the signs that rise up when you're ready to notice. You're not imagining it, you're remembering it. This is Come Get Woo Woo.
Have you ever walked into a room and instantly felt the mood, even before anybody said anything? Maybe you had the chills for no reason, or heaviness in your chest when somebody close to you is hurting. It could be just a feeling, or maybe it's your clairsentience speaking loud and clear. Hey, woo-woo seekers. Welcome back to another episode of Come Get Woo-Woo. I'm Becky.
And I'm Ro. Today, we're tuning into clairsentience and what it really is, how it flows through your energy, and how you can gently grow this gift. We'll talk about its connection to the body and chakras, the different ways it shows up, and some of the subtle clairs that overlap with it. We'll also share tips to strengthen your sensitivity and go deeper than what we've covered in our journals or meditations. Think of it as a chance to really expand your awareness, to recognize where clairsentience might already be guiding you, and how you can lean into it even more.
What is clairsentient? Clairsentient means clear feeling. It's an intuitive ability to receive messages through physical sensation, emotions, or energetic impressions. Spirit speaks through your body, not just your ears and your eyes. Sometimes it shows up in a chill or a flutter in your chest, a sudden mood shift. Other times it's more intense, like a feeling of somebody else's grief, anxiety, or joy, as if it were your own. This isn't about being emotional. It's about tuning into energy that doesn't originate from you. Clairsentience often sense the mood of a room instantly, pick up on people's hidden emotions, or feel goosebumps and physical sensations when something meaningful is happening. Think of it as being Wi-Fi connected emotionally and energetically to the world around you, always receiving signals, often before words are even spoken.
So I could give an example. I take the trains into work, and the train never opens up at the same space. So I use clairsentience to tell me where to stand.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
It usually works out to my benefit where I am standing exactly where the doors open and I can get a seat on the train.
And from somebody that's only gone on the train a few times, that's actually vital information.
So when we talk about clairsentience, we're really talking about the body as an energetic receiver. 3 chakras especially play a role in how these gifts show up. The solar plexus, the sacral, and the heart. The solar plexus chakra is located just above your belly button. The color is yellow and its element is fire. The chakra governs personal power, confidence, self-worth, and deep intuitive knowing that comes through your gut. When it's blocked, you may feel powerless, anxious, or struggle to make decisions. When overactive, you might feel controlling, quick to anger, or overly critical. To bring it back into balance, spend time in the sun, do core strengthening exercises, or use affirmations like, I trust my inner wisdom. Eating yellow foods such as pineapple or bananas can also help.
Interesting. The sacral chakra sits in the lower abdomen, just below the belly button. Its color is orange, and it's the element of water. This chakra governs emotions, creativity, sensitivity, and the flow of energy. When it's blocked, you may feel emotionally numb, creatively stuck, disconnected from your desires. When it's overactive, you might feel overwhelmed by emotions or struggle with maintaining boundaries. You can balance the chakra by spending time near water, expressing yourself creatively through movement, writing, or art, and practicing hip opening yoga poses. Eating orange foods like oranges, carrots, and sweet potatoes also support it. Or you can lie down and visualize a soft orange light spinning just below your belly button. Ask your sacral chakra to reveal what emotions need to be processed. Breathe deeply into this area to clear and open.
I like that. The next I have is the heart chakra. It's located in the center of your chest. It's the color green, sometimes pink, and its element is air. This chakra governs love, compassion, empathy, and emotional balance. When it's blocked, you may feel closed off, lonely, or afraid of vulnerability. When it's overactive, you might give too much, lose yourself in others' emotions, or struggle with healthy boundaries. To bring it back into balance, spend time outdoors, practice breath work, or do yoga heart opening poses like the cobra or camel. Gratitude journaling and surrounding yourself with the color green, either in nature or through crystals like rose quartz or green aventurine, also support the energy center.
Together, these three chakras create the foundation for clairsentience. The solar plexus acts as your gut radar. The sacral connects you to the emotional sensitivity, and the heart allows you to feel empathy and compassion. When these centers are clear and balanced, clairsentience flows more naturally, helping you receive intuitive messages through your body with greater ease. We have meditations for this on our at Come Get Woo Woo channel, opening and unblocking your clairsentient chakra. We also have some sacred tree meditations that open and unblock your chakras on our at Woo Woo Seekers channel. So, Ro, do you want to go over some of the ways that clairsentience can show up?
Oh, absolutely. Clairsentience often appears in ways that feel very real, even if they don't seem logical at first. One of the most common signs is experiencing emotional waves that aren't yours. You might suddenly feel sadness, anxiety, or joy for no apparent reason, only to realize later that you were picking up on someone else's energy. It can also show up during sleep with emotional dreams and sleep sensitivity. You may wake up feeling drained because you processed someone else's emotion while dreaming, or dream about a person and later discover they were going through a difficult time.
Clairsentience often notice physical sensations as messages. You might get chills when truth is spoken, feel tightness in your chest when somebody else is grieving. You may also sense the energy of people, places, and objects. Walking into a room, you can feel tension before anyone speaks, or pick up on the heaviness somebody else's energy leaves on an object. Sometimes this manifests as emotional memory playback, reliving a feeling connected to an event or a person, as if the spirit is using it to get your attention. Finally, clairsentient can feel like absorbing and releasing energy like a sponge, leaving you heavy and exhausted until you consciously release it. So I get the chills all the time, those physical sensations. We actually talked about it in a clairaudient episode, that hearing and giving confirmations was using clairsentient and clairaudient together. Whatever we're talking about just confirms that there's true statements within that conversation. Ro, how does clairsentient show up for you?
I have to say, it shows up more physically when I'm doing mediumship readings. I'll ask how they passed. So I might get like a tightening in my chest or some aches and pains in my body that I don't have at the time.
Actually, that happened to me not too long ago. I was walking through a room with a friend of mine, and we were both walking in through this room. And as soon as I walked into the room, there was like this heaviness, like almost like an elephant sitting on my chest. And she goes, "Oh my God, I can feel it too." So that was that energy that was left in the room from whoever. It was kind of shocking.
Wow.
Ro, what do you think clairsentient feels like?
It doesn't always hit like a clear emotion. Often it's felt in the body first. You might notice a nudge in your gut, goosebumps out of nowhere, or warmth on one side of your body. It could be a wave of calm or safety when the truth is spoken, a sudden shiver or a pullback when danger or deceit is near. You might feel a tingle or a buzz when spirit is close, or a heavy emotional knowing in your heart, even if your mind doesn't fully understand why. The key is that with clairsentience, you often feel the energy before your brain can make sense of it. Your body becomes the messenger, sending intuitive signals that guide your awareness long before it catches up. So, Becky, how would you know you have clairsentience?
Well, some of the ways that you can recognize a clairsentient in your life. One of the signs can be that sinking feeling in the pit of your stomach. You might find yourself crying for no apparent reason when spirit's near, or when you're touched by emotional energy. Sometimes your body reacts physically, like feeling cold, hot, dizzy, as energy moves through a space. Even the sense of spirit's touch, like a warm or pressure on your shoulder. A key clue is when your gut instincts prove right, even when logic says otherwise. Crowds may feel overwhelming, or you might need extra recovery time after being around intense people. And finally, you might be the friend who notices everything, sensing when somebody is struggling, naturally wanting to hold space or offer support. That's clairsentient, showing up as empathy and energetic sensitivity. I think all of us, especially I think moms, for example, I think most moms have this instinctively. We can feel the difference between a kid's cries when they're babies. Get that feeling whenever they walk into the room and they've had a bad day at school. And you know instantly that they're, okay, somebody needs a cheering up type of thing. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I think parents do have that feeling. And I think you could also go when they're about to cause some trouble too.
Yes. I didn't have boys. I hear parents of boys are very in tune to when somebody's going to be getting into trouble.
So, how do you protect yourself from picking up too much energy from others?
I think going back to all of our teachers between Echo and Nancy, and I don't know about Joe and some of your other teachers, but like Echo talks very highly of mirror necklace to the point where I started making a few of those. And I know you've got one of those, a mirror necklace, or just imagining yourself covered like in a mirrored box. Personally, I need a physical reminder that I'm reflecting back that energy so I don't carry it with me. But you can actually put yourself in a bubble. A lot of people will do that.
Yeah, absolutely. I like the bubble.
You like the bubble?
I like the bubble. Yes. I don't like anybody intruding my bubble.
Well, here's the thing. I have trouble with the bubble because my imagination for some reason doesn't create the bubble. That's why I need a physical reminder.
The mirror necklace, what does it do?
So the premises behind it is that it reflects all negative energy away from you. If you're getting the evil eye from somebody or somebody is just too overwhelming, it will actually reflect and deflect that away from you. And like I said, I need that physical reminder that I have that.
It's good that you're a hairdresser. So when you're, getting their hair off your body, because I don't know, maybe it's stuck there, but you could actually get rid of their energy by doing that as well.
Uh,
So, should we do some ways to strengthen your clairsentience?
I like that idea. What do you want to start with?
I'm going to start off with where do I feel that mapping?
Okay.
Throughout the day, when you feel an emotion like an excitement, dread, or calm, pause and ask yourself, where in my body do I feel this? Over time, you'll become fluent in how your body communicates intuitively. Then we have breath and emotion anchoring. So here you place a hand on your heart or belly and breathe deeply. Name the emotion you are currently feeling without judgment. This strengthens the emotional literacy, which is essential for tuning into clairsentience.
That's very interesting. I don't know if I've ever done that one before.
No, me
I mean,
neither.
I know I've done the where do I feel this? Because when we started, you kind of have to go down that road. But I don't know if I've ever done the breath and emotional anchoring.
I haven't.
Okay. We also have emotional journaling. So instead of writing about what happened, focus on the emotion. For example, if you feel anxious, then ask, what does this emotion want me to know? This builds an emotional intuition without interference from your mind. That's really cool.
Mm.
There's also emotional matching game. When we first read this one, I think this is a brilliant idea. I had never done it before, but I will be trying it. So this is where you write 5 of your most common emotions, such as joy, happiness, or fear. And you write 5 of them on a slip of piece of paper. So you pull them randomly, one by one, and recall a moment when you deeply felt this emotion. So you're going to notice where it arises in your body. This practice sharpens your ability to locate and identify emotional intuitively. So, yep, going to be trying that one.
Yeah. I was gonna say for the previous one,
Which one?
the matching game.
Okay.
It kind of reminds me of our books. Well, especially for the book that we're going over now, where we do go over emotions.
Yeah, we do. The first first category is emotions and states.
It's not a game, but
No, it's not a game, but it's certainly helping you understand how emotions come to you. And that's the premises of the book is using all of your senses to figure out these words and how you feel about them. So we also have what they call dream feeling recall. So what this is when you're reflecting on your dreams, focus on how you felt upon waking up rather than the imagery. And ask yourself, what emotional message was this dream delivering? Clairsentient insight often resides in the feeling rather than the story. So I absolutely agree with this because when somebody talks about this really weird dream, the first instinct that I ask is, how did you feel when you woke up? What were you feeling? So back when I was married, I literally woke up one day and I was absolutely pissed. So he had done something in the dream that felt so real, but I know that I was mad at him for a day. And he did nothing except for it was in my dream. But it felt just absolutely real. So
Wow.
I've done that where he got the cold shoulder because I dreamed of him being bad. Oops.
I might have turned over and hit them with the pillow or something.
He probably didn't deserve it though.
Oh. Well, I'm sure he got over it. Well, you stopped being mad, so that's a good thing.
I did. I did
Yeah.
stop being mad.
So the next one we have is the empath trigger reflection. When you feel emotionally off after being with others, journal these questions. Who was I around? What was I feeling? And could I be absorbing somebody else's energy? This trains discernment between empathy and clairsentience. So I no longer go shopping at Christmas time. I use the internet, Amazon, because I do not like being around crowds at all.
I'm so the opposite.
No, I
I'm the
can't
Black
do it.
Friday shopper.
Oh, no. I've never done Black Friday. I don't think I ever will.
Oh, okay.
And then we have the aura touch test. So you hold one hand out and slowly bring the other hand toward it, palms facing each other, and you stop when you feel a buzz, warmth, or pressure. That is your auric field. Practice by expanding and contracting this sensation to build awareness of your energetic boundaries.
We did this exercise once in Nancy's class. And I think it was Dawn that was actually teaching it, wasn't she? Where we literally felt the energetic ball.
Yeah. It was pretty cool.
It was cool.
And then we have emotion, echo, and conversations. So you choose one conversation each day to consciously feel into it. Ask yourself, what is this person feeling underneath these words? What part of me is responding? And write down your impressions afterward to track your awareness. That's interesting.
It's very interesting. I don't know if I've ever done that either.
Me neither, no. I'm always in my head, but I don't know if I went that deep to feel the underneath of somebody's words.
Yeah. So another one that we have, empathetic mirror practice. So this is where you sit with a partner and tune into their energy without speaking. What you're going to do is you're going to ask yourself, what emotion is present with them? What part of me is responding to it? And afterwards, share your observation and refine your awareness. So for this one, I would have to say I've done that without even realizing it had a name to it. I would have to say it's looking across the room at a family member and saying, God, are they mad at me? Feels like they're mad at me about something. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Or you look across the room and somebody looks sad.
Right. Yeah. So the next one is more of a check-in. So kind of what just happened. So when you suddenly feel off, just kind of pause and ask yourself, who did I just talk to, or what did I think about? Did I change environments, or what emotions was triggered in my body? This practice teaches intuitive accountability. Interesting.
Yeah.
So I've been doing that lately because now that you're paying attention, like it comes naturally now, where before I had to make myself do it, where now, oh, I've got the chills. What was I just talking about? Oh, my gut just dropped, so what was wrong? So I constantly do that now as a regular practice and not even thinking about it. So another thing is the energy field sensitivity walk. So what this talks about is where you take a slow walk in nature or a public space, intuitively feel the energy of the people, the trees, the benches, the buildings, and ask it, does it feel safe, heavy, closed? Simply notice without judgment. Now, Ro, you've already seen this video, but it's a little different, but it's kind of like feeling nature. So I saw a video and I had to try it. It's where you actually talk to the trees. And do you remember this video?
Yes, I do.
I love this tree that's out on my property, and I've even named it. Its name is Teddy. I will go up and talk to Teddy and just thank him for providing shade and this, that, and the other thing. And just a fun thing maybe you can do, find a calm day and see how they interact with you, because they're alive. They're responding. They're the same energy as you and I. And I asked Teddy to just touch my cheek. Now, there was no wind. That tree moved and it touched my cheek. So we'll actually link this so you can actually see that video if you want to, but it's pretty cool. And I encourage anybody to do it. So the next and last one that we have is it mine? So this is actually going to be a whispering check, if you will. Sometimes clairsentience shows up as a sudden moodiness, that sick feeling after intense conversation, or even soaking up some collective fear, grief, or joy. When this happens, I encourage you to quickly whisper to yourself, is this mine? Spirit will always give you the answer. And this actually was something that we first heard from a fellow student in one of Nancy's classes. I'd never done it before, but now it's a practice that I do every single time. It was a game changer because sometimes I'll get a headache and it's not mine. We've had to do that quite a few times. All right, Ro, can you share a moment where your clairsentient guided you in a surprising way?
I guess anytime any of the clairs show up, it's a surprise for me. It feels like it comes in a little differently each time. I do use clairsentience in mediumship. It comes up when I get the feeling of someone. So this one surprised me where I had a really tight feeling in my chest and I felt that he died suddenly. But I also felt that he used to tease her. So that was surprising to me. You know, it was like he used to tease her and they used to joke. And I also got like, just the love there. How about you?
I was doing our trance mediumship class and we were given a picture, and the picture I remember to this day, and it was the guy that was in the picture looked to be like he had a tux on of some kind. And all I felt was, even though he was wearing a smile, he was so unhappy. That's how I felt. And as it turned out, it very much was. But yeah, that was the surprising one for me.
That's hard to do when you see a picture like that and then your ego wants to get in. Oh, he looks happy.
And that's the importance of saying what you get, because I would have been like, well, this is going to be wrong. But I did. I said it and she said, yeah, you're spot on.
Wow. Very good.
So, Ro, how about we do some of the lesser known clairs that are adjacent to clairsentient? Do you want to start off?
Yes, I'll start off. We have clairsomatic. So this is clear body awareness. This is when you receive intuitive sensations through your physical body, often related to someone else's condition or energy. So this goes beyond feeling emotions. You might feel a tightness in your chest before someone tells you that they're grieving, a sharp pain in your knee before someone mentions an old injury, spirit energy through tingles, heaviness, or temperature shift. Um, Spirit may use your body as a symbolic messenger. So, feeling pain in your throat when someone is not speaking the truth, stomach drops when someone is hiding something, tingling hands when you're meant to offer healing. So it's not always your feeling, it's a spiritual code for what's going on, like clear aliens and clear somatics. So if you were to think of bleach, you might smell the actual bleach, but you also might get burning in back of your throat from the bleach. And you might feel that. That is clairsomatic as well. Clairsomatics is awareness that makes you a physical empath and your body becomes the messenger.
That's really cool. I think we've all experienced that.
Mm-hmm.
You were talking about the closed throat. That happens to me where I know somebody needs to speak their truth and stuff. And I pass that on to other people when I'm not speaking mine.
Very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
So the next one we have is Claire empathy. So this is Claire emotional empathy. So you're going to feel emotions of others as if they were your own, sometimes even before they speak or realize it themselves. Unlike regular empathy, Claire empathy is intuitive and energetic, not just emotionally sensitive. Claire empaths can feel waves of sadness, anxiety, or excitement from strangers, walk into a space and immediately sense the emotional residue. You can feel drained or invaded without even knowing why. This blends directly with clairsentient, but is focused on emotional absorption rather than physical sensation.
So the next one we have is clairtendency, clear touch. It's also called psychometry. This is when you receive intuitive messages by touching an object. The feelings that rise, emotions, chills, sudden memories are often clairsentient in nature. You may feel the emotion someone had when wearing a piece of jewelry, the energy or weight from holding an old photograph or antique, sadness, warmth, or safety when touching personal items. It's a hands-on expression of clairsentience. And this is also a perfect way to practice clairsentience is to touch physical items that are old and see what kind of energy you get from them and what kind of feelings.
I'm not very good at this one. I will fully admit that. I'm not very good at this one.
I'll have to try it because I haven't really held anybody's old objects or photos or anything. So it's definitely got something to try.
To be fair, though, the last time I tried it, it was when I was very brand new. So I think I might have to revisit it and see.
Oh, definitely. Mm-hmm.
So the next one we have is clairkinesthesia, which is clear movement sensation. So you feel intuitive messages through movement, motion, or muscle memory. The ways that it can show up, you'll feel pulled to move your body in a certain way, receiving energy downloads during a yoga or a dance, reenacting someone's physical experience, whether it be pain, pacing, or habits when tuning into them. This is rare and deeply embodied. Some mediums feel how a person passed or how they moved through their life. My daughter does this every single time that a camera's in front of her. She automatically tilts her head. She's a tilter. That's what I call her. She's a tilter. Do you think that's the same or do you think that's different? So maybe it's not the same.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's similar, very similar.
Yeah. So another one is clairsentient dreaming. This is when intuitive feelings show up in dream form, often through bodily sensations, emotional floods, or symbolic touches. And you might wake up with a heavy chest after dreaming of somebody grieving, feel a warm hug or a hand on your back while dreaming, experience sleep, shivers, pressure that is more spiritual than physical. I actually had this happen once.
Oh,
I wasn't quite dreaming, but you're not asleep, but you're not awake area. I don't know what they call that, but do you understand what I'm saying?
I do. It's that there is a special term for when you're just about to go to sleep and something kicks off, right?
Yeah, that's
Yes.
so I was in that state and I was laying on my side and my hand was over the side of the bed. And because it was one of those times where I woke up and then I went back to sleep. And it was like somebody actually held my hand. And then I actually got the feeling, and it was like a download of some kind. And I felt this distinct feeling about a certain person. Now, I also heard words and I felt sensation, but it started off with that feeling of somebody actually holding my hand.
Did you get scared?
No, there was never a scared part of it. It was a very calming. I still have not fully unpacked that one. Was it a message for me? Was it a message for somebody else? I still question that, but I heeded the information. And I end up finding out that that information was spot on about that person.
That's cool. That is cool. So the next one I have here is clairgnosis. So this is clear knowing via body sensation. Clairgnosis often feels like I just know, but the knowing comes through a feeling. For example, you don't know why you shouldn't trust someone, but your stomach clenches. You can't explain why a place feels sacred, but your body relaxes deeply. You get chills, not thoughts, as confirmation. It's like a body-based claircognizance, and many clairsentients experience this crossover.
I think I've had that one.
I think I do too, because I could definitely feel like it's a feeling that you don't like someone. That's what
Agreed.
I get. Like, now I have to really come across it, but is it a claircognizant or is it this clairgnosis where you're just like, no, you know?
I was just having a conversation with somebody the other day, and they stopped talking to a certain person in their life because they had a gut feeling they had bad intentions, and there's nothing that's proven it right, but certainly there's past behaviors that could possibly lead to that.
Mm-hmm.
So I told that person, just trust your gut. Trust what you're feeling, because it's never going to steer you wrong. Your mind will, but your intuition, it's not going to steer you wrong unless it's for your greatest and highest good. Clairsentient is a spectrum, and these clairs help you trust how much you're receiving through the feeling alone. Think of them like this. So you have clairsentient and clairalience, which is clear smelling, of course. So you smell a smoky scent drifts in suddenly, and your skin prickles like a warning, goosebumps. So that's the two of them together. You also have clairsentient and clairgustance, which is clear tasting. Say you taste your grandmother's chocolate chip cookies, and it's like you get a hug from her.
Love that.
Yeah.
The next one I have here is clairsentience and clairambient, clear empathy, which is clear emotional energy. So you're entering a crowded room, you sense anxiety in the air, and your stomach knots instantly. Being near someone grieving, your throat aches as if you're trying not to cry, mirroring their unspoken pain.
That would be hard.
Yeah.
And you have to figure out some really good boundaries if you had that one, because it could be almost debilitating.
I think that's when you need to have a way of opening and closing your gifts. Like if you have something like that, then you need to say, when I'm out, it needs to go to sleep for a little bit until you need to open it.
Okay. I think Nancy has talked about it where she asks her guides when certain things that she is like, okay, I'm not open to experiencing this. So that would be one of those things that you could put your boundaries up to, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So the next one I have is clairsentience and clairchronomesis, which is clear time and sensing past or future through the body. So if you stand in an old building and feel a sudden heaviness on your shoulders as if it's carrying history, or thinking about the future, your skin tingles with excitement before you even know why.
I got that when we were actually discussing the podcast. Did I ever tell you that? Like, I
No.
just knew that we were going to do this. This was hence the reason why I pushed you into it, because I just knew it. I felt like this was going to be something that we did.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. These lesser class often have very physical anchors, taste buds, scent receptors, touch, emotional mirroring, even the body's relationship with time. Pairing them with clairsentience highlights how spirit uses your body as an intuitive compass. Becky, do you want to take a deeper dive in some other ways clairsentience shows up?
Gladly, because I think it's interesting. Like this first one, clairsentient is often the first clair to awaken, especially for empaths or sensitives, but it is also the most easily dismissed because it's not dramatic. You may have felt off for years, never realizing that your body was an intuitive GPS. I would definitely agree with that statement. I was often put in situations where I just didn't feel comfortable with certain people. And sometimes I listened to it and sometimes I dismissed it as oversensitivity.
Yeah, I could see how this is because, like, if you go to clairvoyance, I had to search for that.
How many people have said, oh my God, read the room, not even realizing that was clairsentient?
Yeah.
So another way that it might show up, we often think of spirit as speaking in signs and symbols and images, but spirit uses feeling to confirm truth. So you may feel a sudden wave of love, like a hug from the other side, or goosebumps or a shiver when somebody speaks the truth. These are all messages. You don't always need words.
I second that. Sort of like your cookie.
Yeah.
Taste a cookie, and it's like you get a big hug from grandma. The next one we have is clairsentience versus trauma response.
Oh, this would be interesting.
Yeah, sometimes what we think is clairsentience is actually a trauma pattern like hypervigilance. It can be hard to tell the difference between the two. Intuitive, something's wrong, versus anxiety that's stuck in your nervous system. Clairsentience becomes clearer when you feel safe and grounded. So healing trauma actually strengthens your intuition. Healing work is spiritual development, especially for feelers. What'd you think of that one?
Wow. That's a heavy one. That's why they always talk about shadow work being the toughest but most important part of awakening.
So the next one I have is repetition and validation. So clairsentience can be tricky to trust because it's internal. So spirit often uses repetition to validate your feelings. So you might feel the same gut twinge around different people with the same issue. Oh, that's interesting.
That's very interesting.
Emotional deja vu, confirmation through repeated chills, sensations, or emotional echoes. So, keeping a body truth journal by writing down your gut reactions and check what happens next.
Well, don't you think this would go with getting the chills for validation that whatever I'm speaking about is true? Or seeing a certain behavior pattern and your reaction is always the same.
Yep.
That was really cool. Interesting. The next one is going to be when you're meant to feel it for somebody else. We've touched on clair empathy, but didn't go all the way in. Sometimes you're spiritually assigned to feel something on behalf of somebody else, to help them move on, move through it, give voice to it. So you might feel grief before somebody opens up, cry during energy work, pick up an emotion they didn't even realize yet. You're not crazy. You're channeling healing. Just make sure you release it afterwards. So I think a very important part of this is the releasing afterwards.
Absolutely. It's not something you want to hold on to.
So the last one we have are moon cycles and sensitivities. Now, I volunteered to do this one because, one, I'm a Cancer, so I'm ruled by the moon. So I have always been a little bit more sensitive, I would say, around the moons. But also because I love astrology. So clairsentient are often more open to full and new moons. The emotional ties literally rise, and so do intuitive feelings. So start tracking how you feel during the lunar phases, and you will reveal your intuitive rhythm.
I just want to say, I don't think you've volunteered. I think you demanded it, but who am I to say anything?
She's not wrong. I was like, yeah, I want that one. I'm going to do that one. Thank you for letting me have it, Ro.
In my head, I was giving it anyway to you. I'm like, this is Becky.
So just kind of a quick note, the new moons are actually opening different intentions that you want. If you want to start a routine or start a practice of some kind, whether it be emotional or physical, those are done on a new moon, where full moons are about releasing the energies. Kind of a fun little fact.
Interesting.
So do you want to go over maybe some myths that are out there about clairsentient that we can correct with some facts?
Yes. The first myth is it's safe to feel everything. So clairsentients need strong energetic boundaries. Without them, you can absorb other people's stuff like a sponge, leading to burnout, anxiety, or unexplained aches. So protecting your energy is part of mastering your gift. And we kind of went over that earlier about using a mirror necklace or putting yourself in a bubble.
I think they're important.
Yes. The next one I have is clairsentience is always obvious. Sometimes clairsentience feels subtle, like a gentle nudge, an unease, or even an excitement for no reason. This is the key to learning to trust those little signals, not just dramatic ones.
So do you think that it's purposely set up? If you're paying attention to the small nudges, then you get the larger nudges? What I'm saying is, so if it starts off subtle, then is it because you understand or you're paying attention to the small, subtle stuff that you start getting more because you're paying attention?
Oh, yeah, I think the more you hone in on it and the more you practice it.
Okay, so another myth. If you don't feel it all the time, then you've lost the gift. Truth is, your sensitivity may ebb and flow. Stress, illness, and even hormones can mute your intuitive feelings. Even if you're ascending, like you're going to the next level, you'll find that you actually kind of go into a lull a little bit. So you didn't lose it. It's just on pause.
That's with any of the gifts, I think.
You're completely right. So during those times of pause or those times of quiet, that's what they're asking you to do is ground, rest, and set the intention to reactivate it. So just it's kind of almost like you're putting in a hermit mode. Take a nap and regroup. That's what it's.
I've heard that.
So another myth is clairsentient is always about sensing people's emotions. In actuality, clairsentience can also manifest as physical sensations that provide information. For example, if a clairsentient might feel a cold spot or a pressure on their chest as a warning sign, they might also get a gut feeling about a decision, a person, or a place without any emotional component at all.
Yeah, I think I get more physical sensations than I get emotional sensations. What about you?
I get physical sensations, but I think I more oftentimes get emotion.
Picking up other people's emotions, or
Yeah.
okay.
I would have to say clairsentience is one of my stronger ones.
Yeah, I think for me too. But I think I just get it in a different way than you, which is everybody's different, you know?
Absolutely.
So I have clairsentience is a gift that only a few people have. Huh. That's not true. Many believe that clairsentience is a natural human ability or sixth sense that we all have to some degree. It's often thought of as an intuitive muscle that can be developed and strengthened with practice. Many people experience gut feelings or have a strong sense of a place's vibe without realizing this is a form of clairsentience.
Yeah, I think that's out of all the myths that is one of the ones that it's like, really?
Yeah. And that goes with all the other clairs too, you know. I think you mentioned it in the clairvoyance one about singing.
Yeah, I think that I'm trying to think which teacher actually told us that. I don't remember. But yeah, most people can sing, but some are gifted and they can sing right away. Some have to practice, plain and simple.
The practice.
I have to practice also. Singing too.
Yeah, you don't want to hear me sing. No.
I sing awesome in my car by myself with the radio turned all the way up.
So loud that you can't even hear yourself, right?
Exactly.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I love that. Yep. The last myth is all clairsentients are just empaths. So there is a significant overlap with clairsentience as a psychic ability that is distinct from empathy. Empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of another person. Clairsentience, which means clear feeling, is the ability to receive intuitive information through physical and emotional sense that may or may not be directly tied to a person's emotional state. Clairsentience can walk into an empty room and feel the residual sadness of an event that happened there a year ago. An empath might only feel the emotions of someone who is currently present. So that's a distinct way to tell the difference between the two.
Well, I'm guilty of thinking the same thing when we started, that clairsentience and empaths were exactly the same.
Yeah.
So, this has been a journey in and itself by doing the research and finding out more about these clairs. It's been fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. That's why we started it. Yeah.
That is why we started this, because trying to seek answers, and we figured, let's see if anybody wants to go along for the ride.
There you go.
All right. As we wrap up today's episode of Clairsentient, remember that your body and your emotions are incredible guides. Whether it comes through a gut instinct, a sudden wave of emotion, or a physical sensation, trust what you're feeling has meaning. The more you notice, honor, and track these signals, the clearer your intuitive guidance becomes.
This was such a fun episode to explore the language of feeling. I challenge you, woo-woo seekers, to a simple exercise. For the rest of the day, check in with your physical body. Notice how it reacts to a conversation, a song, or even a memory. These small observations are how you build stronger connection to your intuitive self. Becky, anything else to share?
Yes, in our next episode, we're sniffing out the truth about clairalience. And trust me, this is one sense you'll never think of the same way again. And here are the 3 words for this week from our Woo Woo Seekers Journal, A Journey for Your Signs and Symbols, Book 1. We have clarity, campfire, and bell. See what rises, see what resonates. Go to @WooWooSeekers on YouTube to listen to the meditations for these words. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks for getting woo-woo with us today. If something sparked a memory, a message, or just made you smile, share it with a fellow seeker, because the journey is always better when you can grow together. Be sure to find us on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube @WooWooSeekers, so you can like, follow, and subscribe.
You can also follow us by visiting our website, comegetwoowoo.com. We are so much more than just another podcast. We're building a community of seekers just like us. We love hearing from you. If you've got signs, symbols, or stories that you want to share, email us at woowooseekers@gmail.com. Or any questions about today's episode, you can email us at comegetwoowoo@gmail.com.
Until next time, stay curious, stay open, and as always, come get woo-woo with us.